Hey guys, so for today's video, I created this very easy, beginner-friendly eyeshadow look, and I used the new Urban Decay Naked Sin little palette. If I can open it up here. There it is. Urban Decay just launched 3 of these little palettes, so this is the Sin one here, and I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to do a very beginner-friendly eyeshadow look, so that's exactly what I did today. I'll walk you through every step, and I kept it simple today by only using 3 eyeshadow brushes. So if you want to learn how to do this easy eyeshadow look, go ahead and keep on watching. As with any eyeshadow look, we're going to start by priming our eyes. I typically use the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. This has been my favorite one for the past almost year now, I would say, but Urban Decay did send me their primer potion, and I haven't used this in a while, so I figured let's use it today. So this is the original formula, and I remember loving this eyeshadow primer like years ago, kind of when I first started getting into makeup, so let's try this out. I like the little wand applicator. And this one doesn't really have any pigment to it. That's kind of why I prefer the Rare Beauty one, because it has a little bit of a skin toned pigment in there. This one's just like super clear, so if you have any like redness in your eyes or any veins that peek through, you might want to apply some concealer underneath this primer. I'm just gonna apply that and then tap it out with my finger. This primer does feel like silky smooth, so it really does a good job at like smoothing out your base. So that primer does dry down pretty nicely, but I am gonna set it with the translucent powder just so everything's gonna blend it seamlessly on top. I'm gonna use the RCMA no color powder. This has been my favorite powder for years and years and years. And I'm just taking a fluffy Sigma E35 and dusting that powder mostly in my crease because that's where we're gonna be doing most of the blending. And you really don't need much powder for this, just a little bit. BCO, this powder literally has no color in it, so the name no color powder is perfect. So I get asked all the time, Angela, if you could only have 3 eyeshadow brushes, what would you pick? And it would be these 3 brushes. I do have a brush set with Sigma that has my 5 go-to eye brushes, but if I had to narrow it down to 3, it would be these 3. So first we have the E35 blending brush. This is just your typical blending brush. It's going to be perfect for blending shades in the crease and also softening out any harsh lines. And then for blending in smaller areas, I like the E27 detail blending brush. So this is perfect for being more precise when you're blending in your crease. I also like to use the flat side of this brush to apply shadow on my outer corner. You can apply it on your lid. If you're doing like a halo eye, you can apply shadow like right in here. It's also really good for blending out the lower lash line. So I think it's super important to have a small blending brush like this. And then for my third brush, I picked the E21 smudge brush. And this one I can use for a lot of things as well. One being like the inner corner highlight, the brow bone highlight. If I wanted to deepen up just the very outer corner of my eye, if I wanted to like stamp on some eyeshadow as eyeliner, I can do that with this. I can do like a little flick of a wing. It's also really good for applying shadow on the lower lash line. Like, I love this brush. So these 3 brushes are like my dream team. All right, so let's dig into this Naked Sin palette. I'm going to start with the shade Boring on the E35 Fluffy Blending Brush. So I coated the whole tip of the brush with the product, you can see it like that, and then tap off any excess. And then I'm just going to start blending this shade into my crease. So when most of the product is off the brush, I'm gonna blend a little bit higher right below my brow just to really diffuse out this color. Okay, now I wanna deepen up the outer half of my eye. So I'm gonna take the deepest shade Twisted on the E27, and I'm just gonna run the brush along the shadow like that to pick it up on one flat side, tap it off. So I just have a little bit of product like that, and I'm gonna start by tapping that on the outer half of my lid. And then I'm connecting it into the crease where I laid that first shade. Picking up a little bit more. So you see what I mean by this brush, how I can use the flat side to apply the product, but then I can kind of use like the whole brush to do little circular blending motions. And then if anything's ever looking like not super blended, I recommend going back to the previous shade you were using. So in this case, it's Boring. So I'm gonna pick up Boring on the E27 and touch that up in the crease. So where these two shades are merging together in the crease, it's gonna look nice and soft and blended. And then just to go over everything one more time, I'm gonna take the E35 with nothing on it and just blend over the crease here. And same thing on this eye, using the flat side of the E27 to kind of stamp on the product and then blend with the tip of the brush. And then picking up that lighter shade Boring on the E27 and blending those shades together in the crease. And then of course going back to the E35 and blending over everything. Lots of blending here, guys. Blend and patience. So now we have this nice blended crease and a deeper outer corner. Let's add some shimmer to the lid. I feel like I just have to use Sin since this is the Sin palette, so I'm gonna take that on my finger. So I have it on my finger like that, and I'm just gonna press that on the inner half of the lid where there's no shadow. I remember loving this shade in the original Naked palette, so I'm excited to have this shade again in my collection. Pretty. And this shade is so pretty too. I like that it's not like a super intense shimmer. I feel like anyone could wear this eyeshadow. All right, so I applied that shimmer with my finger, and now I'm gonna go back to my E35. Again, I have no other product on this brush, and I'm just gonna blend in the crease just so it's a little softer right here, so the shimmer kind of like diffuses out. And this is just a quick blend. This won't take very long. And then if you feel like maybe you brought that shimmer in too far, you can always go back to your brown shades and like touch up the outer corner a little bit with the E27. You can always go back and add more. I'm happy with how that looks so far. I'm gonna go do my face makeup off camera and then we'll finish up the eyes together. All right, my face makeup is on, and I always get asked how do I prime my under eyes for eyeshadow, so let me quickly tell you. All I do is apply my concealer that like I'm gonna put on under my eyes, and I bring it all the way up to my lower lash line. So today I just use the Dior Forever Concealer, so I blend it all the way up to here with my Beauty Blender, and then I set my under eyes the same way I set my lids. So again, I use the RCMA powder. So what I do is I take a large flat brush like this. This is the Sigma E60, and I just press that translucent powder right here so it gets in the crease of my eye and also right on top of my lower lash line. And now my lower lash line is ready for eyeshadow. For my lower lash line, I'm gonna use these two brushes, but this one's pretty dirty because we used it all over the lid. We kind of used a mixture of colors on it, so I'm gonna clean it off. And one of my favorite products to do that is the Sigma Switch. All you do is just take your dry brush and you swirl it kind of in any of the pads, really, it doesn't really matter. And what this is doing is getting the pigment off of the brush. It's not cleaning the brush, but it's taking all of that eyeshadow off of it. You can see it's like a little bit lighter now. So now I'm ready to dip into some more eyeshadow. I'm gonna take that Boring shade on the tip of the E27. So I'm dipping the tip of the brush into there, and again, tapping off the excess. And I'm taking the tip of that brush and blending that along my lower lash line. And then I do kind of connect the shadow to the outer corner right out here. Super simple and easy. So this eye has it on, this eye doesn't. So if you like your eyeshadow to be super soft, you could totally stop right here, but I'm gonna add a little more depth to the lower lash line. So I'm gonna take that Twisted shade on my E21, and I'm gonna press that shade along the base of my lower lashes. So I switched to this smaller brush so I can be more precise with this shade. So here is this eye with the Twisted shade, this one doesn't. It's not much of a difference, but I just prefer this kind of darker look. And now I'm gonna clean off this brush on the Sigma Switch because I'm gonna use a lighter shade now. Now I'm gonna pick up Bad Habit, and I'm gonna use that to brighten my inner corner. and a little bit under my brow. Alright, and that is it for the eyeshadow. You can add some eyeliner if you want. You could do a wing or just like a simple line across the top lash line. You could add black in the waterline if you'd like to do that, but I'm gonna do no eyeliner today. I'm just gonna pop on some mascara and lashes, so I will be right back. So I wanted to quickly show you what this looks like with just mascara because I realize most people don't wear fake eyelashes every day like I do, and this is a beginner tutorial, so here it is with just mascara. So I did a coat of the Patrick Ta mascara on my top and bottom lashes, and then I did one more coat on my top lashes with the MAC Stack mascara. So I'm gonna go pop on a little half lash and then I'll show you the full face. Alright, I popped on a little half lash that just goes on the very outer corner of your eye. These are from my lash brand, the Bright Lashes, and the style is called Flair. I love these lashes for an everyday look. They're so comfortable and you can almost like barely even tell I'm wearing lashes. It just adds a little bit to the outer corner. So pretty and so comfortable. Alright, and here's what the full face looks like all together. Let me tell you what else is on my face because I know you guys like to know. For my foundation, I'm wearing the Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop. I haven't worn this since like last summer, but this is such a beautiful lightweight foundation. For my bronzer, I'm wearing the Sigma Matte Bronzer in light and medium. I mixed these two together today. And then for my blush, I'm wearing the Sigma Blush in Tiger Lily. I can't stop wearing the new Sigma powder products. They are just beautiful and I am obsessed with this blush. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. And then for my highlighter, I'm wearing the Sigma highlighter in Sizzle. I think this is my favorite highlighter out of the 6. Ooh, and then for my lips, I actually got something new. I was influenced by TikTok. It is the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump, and I got the shade Peachy Beige. This is the only thing on my lips right now. Like, how gorgeous is this? It's like, is it like a gloss? It's like a lipstick and gloss in one, and it's plumping too, so it does give you like a little bit of a tingle. This whole look, especially the eyes, is easily one of my favorite makeup looks to wear. Like, this is not a new look on my channel, but I really wanted to try it with this new palette and make it a beginner-friendly video. So I love how the eyes turned out. I feel like it's a very beginner-friendly look with a very beginner-friendly palette, and of course the 3 eye brushes I used today. Don't forget, you can use my code AngelaBright to save 10% on anything Sigma, like their blushes and bronzers I used today, but of course their brushes. These are my absolute favorite brushes, hands down. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.